Looks like we're hauling out today, finally. Time to do a bottom job and replace our through hulls, install the one for the head, and install our new depth transducer. Looks like we're bringing out half the coral reef with us. It's been about 5 months since we cleaned the bottom of the boat. Jacking up pretty high so I can have access to the bottom of the keel, because we broke the tip off of it in Haiti 2 years ago, and we're going to need to fix that while we're here. So we're using super tall jack stands. Well, we're only going to be hauled out for a few days, and we got a lot of work to do. The first thing is going to be to sand and grind out all the damage and the places that need to be repaired so they can dry out a little bit before we fiberglass over them again. Ooh, grinding fiberglass in the hot sun is one of my least favorite jobs ever. 2 years ago, when we ground this out, we filled it full of Sikaflex, and it worked for the most part, but there was a couple of places where it got separated. But I think the problem was we were too timid. We only ground out just like a little bit and filled it thinking that was better. But this time I went in and ground out as much of the old bedding compound as I possibly could. It's about ½ inch of it there, and I ground it back about 1.25 inches. And this time I'm gonna fill it full of epoxy with fiberglass powder and Cabasil in it, so hopefully it will it'll seal it up a little bit better and actually stick it a lot better so it doesn't crack again. There's still no water that gets into our builds. There's no water coming through. Eventually maybe we'll pull the keel and rebed it, but good lord, that's a big project. We replaced all the rest of the through hulls in the entire boat because they were original, like 1972 tapered brass plug, horribly old, very untrustworthy through hulls. But now they're all replaced with composite through hulls, so they should be good to go for another 40 years or something like that.
And that was the last one.
Sorry for the noise, guys, but it is a boatyard and there's a dozen people all around us grinding and pressure washing and doing all sorts of other activities, so we'll just have to deal with it. We also fared this out and installed another through hull up here for the new depth sounder, water temperature, and knot log for the new chart plotter. This is just a plug right now, but there's a little wheel that comes down here and spins when you sail through the water. So that way we'll have water speed as well as depth. Our old depth sounder was actually glued to the inside of the hull, so it never really worked that accurately, but this one's going to be properly installed. Alright, well I just finished putting something called prop speed on. Looks kind of like that. It's a relatively expensive product. I think it cost us almost $200 to do our prop, but I've heard that it's a really amazing product. I've heard it works really well. It's prop anti-fouling, and I've heard that it could last easily as long as the anti-fouling we just put on our boat. So with an electric motor, we kind of need all the assistance we can get, and having a clean prop is a huge deal. Even with a diesel, it's a big deal. With an electric motor, man, without a clean prop, you just do not get the same speed and range that you would with a clean hull and a clean prop. So for us, I think it's worth the investment, and that was the last thing on our list of things to do. The bottom's done and painted. The through hulls are all been swapped out and reinstalled. We got a new depth sounder installed. The zincs I need to replace still, and now the prop speed's on. So tomorrow we're gonna touch up the last little spots where the pads are with anti-fouling, and we'll be ready to launch. It was a pretty fast weekend, but it worked out pretty well. It's kind of dark. I am getting destroyed by no-see-ums, and yeah, I'm ready to get out of here, go eat some food and go to bed. So we'll see you guys in the morning.
Today's Monday.
We're ready to launch.
We're ready to lunch.
So a little bit about the bottom paint.
Yeah.
We switched over to ablative, not necessarily because we think it's better, but just because we didn't know anything else. Like, we had the copper epoxy that we made, but we didn't have anything to compare it to.
When we put the copper in, we didn't really know if it was going to work or not, because remember, it's not copper coat.
It was copper powder mixed in with a low V epoxy. Copper coat has other additives and biocides that they put in to help with anti-fouling, so it probably works better than what we did. I'm assuming it does.
The positive things about it is that we didn't have to worry about when we're scraping the bottom to clean it. None of it came out.
But on a negative side, we had to scrape the hell out of the bottom every couple of weeks to keep it clean. But it also never turned green or dark brown. Copper coat, the actual product, usually turns like a really dark brown, almost green when it starts to work. And ours never did, so maybe we didn't sand and expose it enough, or maybe the epoxy, you know, encapsulated it too much. And also the company doesn't sell it anymore, so maybe that's a sign. But yeah, so we're gonna try this, and in like a year from now, when we have to haul out again, we'll see how much we liked it, see what the difference was. The stuff we used was this stuff right here, Interlux Micron CSC. It's what they put on all the boats down here in the tropics, at least at this particular yard.
It'll be a good thing to test. And then we'll have, after a year, we'll have something to compare it to, so that when people ask, did you like a copper bottom, we'll actually have a proper response, because we'll have tried something different. Yeah, so I'm super excited to launch, and we're gonna test our electric motor today.
We're gonna go for a little baby test. Our maiden voyage was pulling from the dock into here, and it worked well, but the bottom was dirty and the prop was dirty, so we didn't wanna go and do any kind of other testing knowing that it wasn't going to be accurate. So yeah, we're going to launch and go for a little spin up and down the canal here and just get a kind of a baseline for how much speed and how many amps we're drawing. Cool. I think they might be ready for us. They put that
Awesome. All right, let's go.
Time to launch. All right, well, we are out in the little canal just in front of the marina, doing a few little quick motor tests, just seeing like what kind of speed and what kind of amps we can draw. So when we go back to the dock, we can start confirming some calculations. Right now we're drawing like 20 amps and we're doing about 3.5 knots, which is pretty good.
But there is a current coming out. So.
Doesn't look like much. I'm looking at the leaves. They don't really look like they're moving much. All right, let's go up to like 5 knots and see what kind of current we're drawing. I don't want to go too fast because you have to slow back down again.
5 knots, 74?
Yeah.
Damn.
That's about right. I was
so
hoping for
an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, I was hoping for about 50, but... When we left the slings, we went out the canal here, the little side canal out to the ICW, which is about 3/4 to a mile or so. So it's out and back was maybe just over a mile and a half. So it's definitely longer than we've ever motored before. We didn't push it too hard. We were only motored about 4 to 5 knots, and we were drawing anywhere between like 50 to 75 amps. That was about what we expected. Doing about 4.5 to 5 knots, we were drawing 50 amps. But we're definitely going to have to figure out something to keep our motor cool because it started to get pretty warm by the time we made it back to the dock. So it's definitely the weakest link in our system right now is our actual motor, which is fine because we bought it for $100, so we're ready to upgrade it. The other thing before, we never had a way of charging our batteries except for with solar. So we could never really practice docking and undocking and those maneuvers, just driving the boat around, because it would take days and days and days to charge them back up again, and then we'd be able to do it again. But now that we can plug into the dock, we can go out and motor around, drive around, dock in different conditions, and then come back in, charge them up overnight, and we can do it again the next day. So we'll get better.
Yeah.
We'll get better. It's amazing. We've done 3 years, 10 or 11,000 miles, and we've only docked like 4 times.
It's just...
Yeah, it's just stressful.
It is stressful. And I just don't want it to be stressful. I want it to be, you know, as calm as it is for us to anchor. I want us to be able to dock as calmly. And we're usually calm people. And practice.
But now we can practice, so let's practice. Do you want to practice docking every day? I mean, we only have 2 dock lines, 3 dock lines. Untie them, back up, go out, turn around, come back in.
Oh well. So yeah, I am exhausted. I think we're gonna call this vlog over.
And just shower, sleep, clean the boat up, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Bye. Oh.
You didn't hit record.
What? Did I not really?
No.